Hi, I'm Tara. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we are going to be taking this little wood slice sign that is from the Dollar Tree. However, I'm sure you can find something similar at Walmart and other places. All kinds of little crafting and creating shops, Hobby Lobby, or whatever, wherever you are. If you do find something similar to this somewhere other than Dollar Tree, please comment it below to help out my crafty friends that come and check out these tutorial videos. So we're going to be taking this sign. We're going to be using some paint. I'm going to be using the Folk Art brand, although there are paints available of different brands that you can use, whatever works for you. I'm going to be using my mini heat press, my little Cricut mini press, and some iron-on or HTV. So let's click into Cricut Design Space and see how to create this project, and then we're going to put it all together.
Okay, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. This is the little sign that we're going to create. So if you want to make the same one that I'm going to do, then go ahead and stick around. And if not, you may want to stick around just to benefit from some of the tips and tricks that I can share. So first of all, I measured my wooden sign and I decided that I didn't want anything more than 9 inches in height for my complete design, and then nothing greater than I think it was just under 3 inches in width. So I've got a little bit more than 2.5 inches in width right there, I believe, for the whole thing. So I have this grouped together. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to first look up these images. So we're going to go into Image on the left layers panel, or excuse me, not layers panel, but the left toolbar. And then we're going to type in Cricut Cutie. And that is where you will find all the different images that I used. And I use the ones that are more solid, like this. So where it's all black, that's going to be whatever color heat transfer vinyl or adhesive vinyl that you're choosing. This one right here is going to just do like an outline. So it's going to, if you do a cut image, you're going to be doing a lot of weeding and only having that outline. So I suggest picking the more solid images. And then of course, these are more of like print and cut, but you can select them and then edit them. However, these images are also available, like this little guy right here in a solid image. You just have to scroll down and find him. There he is right there. So you'll select on these different images. I just think these are so cute. I'm trying to think. I don't even remember which all I chose, but we'll just pick these for now for the sample. I'm going to hit and add those to Canvas. And then I'm going to size them down a bit. Okay. I need to get rid of some of these. I'm going to just delete him. Okay. And then we're going to zoom in so that you can see a little better. So I grabbed these to work with. So my original image, I just put idea with the little light bulb, and then confusion face, anger face, solution, and success. However, you can add whatever wording you choose. You can put whatever order your particular crafting stages go through. And then as you can see on the side, I also added in an image font that has 5 stages of Cricut crafting. It's actually not an image, it's a font, sorry. And we are going to get these guys moved around here. Okay, so I'm just kind of moving them around in like in a stage that I would think, and I'm also going to leave a little space in between them. So once you pick them out, and you decide what you want, let's zoom back out here. Then you're going to select over all your images, and I have 5 here. You could have 3, you could have 4, you could have 6, you could have 10, you could have whatever you choose. And then I'm going to click Align, and I am going to center horizontally. And that's lining these little guys up. And then while I have them selected, so if you can see in the layers panel, they're all selected. I am going to go up and choose a different color. So let's go ahead and go with the Cricut Basic Green. So you can do that while they're all selected and have them all the same color. So we have them all lined up. What I'm going to have you do then is hit attach. So these are all going to stay together. And then we are going to grab a text font or a text bar. So you're going to go over to click text and you're going to type in idea. I'm going to click out. I'm going to grab onto this now. I'm going to zoom in because this is another one of those tips and tricks. Sometimes you can't grab and move these without stretching them if you don't zoom in. So if you're having difficulty when you're working with fonts, just zoom in and then you'll have better access to be able to adjust it or move it around accordingly. So I'm going to type in idea and then I'm going to shrink it down to where, oops. See there because I shrunk it down and then I went to grab onto it, it wanted to pull it. So again, I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit more so that I can actually grab it, move it over without it stretching. And then I'm going to place it underneath here and I'm going to shrink it down enough to where it's going to fit in there height-wise. Okay, so I think that looks good. And then I'm going to, we'll just leave it in Cricut Sans, but if you want to change the font, you just simply click up to the top toolbar, click in fonts, and then go ahead and scroll through and select whatever font that you want to change it to. And then there's also an area where you can bookmark and save fonts that you want to reuse over and over again. Okay, but I'm going to leave that. And then what I'm actually going to do, because I like that size and height, the height rather, because the letter width is going to change with the length of the number of letters, I'm going to duplicate that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So then all I have to do is double click in, click again, and then I am going to arrow back and I'm going to type, I don't know, I'm going to type frustration. And click out so that I can then move it. And I'm going to kind of just eyeball it in the center between the next two. And I'm going to go on and repeat that process. I can also just double click and just start typing. So when it's all highlighted, so the next one, we'll just type in anger. There's a couple different ways that you can get in to edit your text. Oops, I'm arrowing down in the wrong section. And then we're going to move that word right in there. And then I'm going to go back up and just continue on, clicking on that letter, word, and then you can just arrow back, or when it's highlighted, just start typing. And I'm going to do, well, I forgot what the next one is. I think it's a laughy face. Well, we could just type in solution. I'm sure there's more creative words I could come up with, but for now, we're just sticking to the basics for the tutorial purposes. And you know what? It's kind of a conundrum here because I need to stay zoomed in to be able to easily move these around. But it would be easier for me to do if I could zoom out. Just one of those things when it comes to cricketing. Why does he look like he's not lined up with the other little dudes? I don't know. Okay, and then we are going to go to success. And then click out and then move it down. So you're just grabbing and holding, or clicking and holding, and then moving it down. And then, so now what we're going to do with all these words, now that I've got them all about where I would like them to be. I don't know why that little guy seems like he's not lined up. He should be though. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the layers panel. Panel. Is panel even a word? My goodness. And we are going to select on the first word. We're going to hit the shift key, hold that shift key down. With your other hand, you're going to click on all the other words. That's going to group them all together. But to fully group them, we actually have to go to the top toolbar and click group. So now we have these letters and words grouped together, and we have the little crickety guys grouped together, which will cut differently with the different colors. So if we actually stuck with this, then these would be cut with black HTV or adhesive vinyl, whatever you choose to use. And then these little guys would be cut with, oops, a different color, the green or whatever you choose. Okay, and then you'll just have to line it up once you cut both of them. But by doing it in Design Space first, you know that it's going to fit and going to work. And then we're going to add the little 5 stages of crafting, or you can type whatever you want, but that's just what I did for this project. So I'm going to just type in 5 stages of Cricut crafting. I'm going to have to zoom out to be able to see all that. Make sure I spelled it right. I missed a space there. Okay. And then I'm going to exit out of that, and I'm going to move this. Let me grab these. I'm going to get this out of the way. So I grab these, highlight over that, move that out of the way, then move this over. And then I'm going to double click. No, I'm not going to double click. I'm going to click into this. Oh my goodness. Oh no, I'm in it. I don't have to make sure that's highlighter selected. It's already, I'm in here, my cursor's flashing, so I'm going to go up to the top and I'm going to select a different font. And as of the filming of this, they have this little option where you can scroll across and get typewriter style, industrial, sports fonts and stuff. I'm going to click into cursive. And then I'm in my bookmarked. I'm going to go back and hit in Cricut. Sorry about that. So I'm going to go back to Cricut. I had one bookmarked cursive font, so that only was allowing us to see that one. So I'm going to scroll back over after selecting the Cricut. So it's going to give me all Cricut options. Oops, I went past it. And I'm going to click Cricut cursive. And then I'm going to look down here and see what font I think would be a good cursive font that I would be happy with. And I actually think this might be the one that I used. Yes, it is. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's 11 inches wide, and I know I don't want any more than 9 inches in height. So I'm going to go up here, and maybe I'm going to type 8.5. I'm going to have that a little bit less than the rest of my stuff. And then over here, I'm going to select over everything. It's at 10 and I didn't want it to be any more than 9. So I'm going to click 9, hit enter. And then there, that shrunk up everything. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it sideways. So all I did was I went down to the box in the corner and I just kept scrolling out, or not scrolling out, moving my arrow out until it actually turned like that. And then you can, goodness, see how things happen. And then you can click down and move your image or your Cricut text. And then I'm going to put this over here and just see how it looks. Then I'm going to select over it and see how we're doing on width. That is staying under my width, but just barely. So I'm going to actually make this even smaller. I'm just going to arrow it down to about 7.5 maybe instead. And I'm going to try to have it where I can have it nice and close. There. Okay, now let's select back over it. We are down to 2.7. So I'm actually going to unlock this. I want to have it stay at 9 inches, but I want to just arrow this down just a little bit. There we go. So that's just a little bit narrower. I know it's going to fit on my sign width without any issue. Okay, so that's how I created the design, and then you will simply, change the colors to whatever you want them to be. So say I want that to be in green, and we'll click on that. And then you'll cut them out, and then you'll have to place them accordingly, which I'm going to show you. So let's go to it.
So one of the important things that we want to do to start off with is to measure. So this is about 3 inches wide, and as far as below where the actual little hangers will be is approximately 10 and a little bit, well, about 10 and 3/4 inches. So I don't want the height to be any more than 9 inches for my design, and I definitely want to keep the width under 3 inches. So I'm going to be using Cricut Joy Smart material for the black, and then for the other 2 colors I'm going to be using just regular size Cricut HTV. This is Cricut brand, although you can use whatever brand you happen upon, and I am just going to cut down the size that I need for each of them with my ruler and a True Control knife. And here's my True Control knife. Absolutely love it. Go ahead and check my description for supplies. I will try and link as many things as I can that I use for the project today. Okay, so I used my True Control knife and my ruler and my mat, self-healing mat, to cut my pieces down that will fit onto my little Cricut Joy mat. So I'm going to grab my little Cricut Joy mats, and I'm going to pick out the longer one that I'm going to use today. Okay, so the first one is going to be my black, and I'm going to feed that in shiny side down. This is like the adhesive part that's going to stick to your project. And then I'm going to hit go from my computer or your mobile device. I'm going to go ahead and let this cut, and then get my material that's going to go on my mat ready next. So I'm just going to take my Cricut mat, and I'm going to place my heat transfer vinyl down on my mat. And I'm going to use a brayer tool to push this down on a firm surface right in front of me. Okay, it's ready. Hit unload from your mobile device or computer. Okay, on to the next color. I used my True Control knife and my ruler, and I cut out around my little image, and then I'm going to weed it with my weeding tool. Okay, so I just have to weed out the little bits that got missed. I like using this little ring and this little stand when I'm weeding. You can tell I need to clean it out there, but it's great. It's handy. It's like another little mini trash can, and I can just run my little weeding tool along the edge. Check the description. I'll try to include a link for that below if you're interested. They're inexpensive and super handy and helpful. This is what it looks like when it's weeded. So this is the sticky adhesive back side, and then this is the front side. So this is gonna go onto our project just like so. Okay, so I'm gonna put some butcher paper down. I'm gonna set my sign down on my pressing pillow or heat press mat, and then I'm going to line everything up, and I'm going to be using my Cricut mini heat press. I'm going to turn it on to the second notch. So I'm going to hit the button 2 times, so it's going to go to the second light there. So that's like my medium heat, and I'm going to line up my project. Okay, that means that little beep means my heat press is ready. How's that looking? How does that look? I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I think that I have everything where I want it to be. Now I just have to peel off the layers one at a time. So I'm going to do the pink little guys first. Okay, now we're going to put on the next layer. Okay, now it's time to put the side on. Okay. Okay, let that cool off and then we'll peel it. Okay, after letting that cool off, I'm gonna just slowly peel back, making sure you're not peeling any paint up or letters. Ta-da! Okay, and then I'm just gonna slide the little hanger back in the top. And here is our finished project, or product of our project that we created today using our Cricut design space. and all these cute little Cricut cuties. I hope that you found some benefit during this tutorial, and if at any point that you did, please give it a like. I always appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, go and check out another one of my crafting videos. Thank you.